Hello, Chapel City Church. Pastor Matt here. Wanted to welcome you back to in-person services, or at least give you some kind of an understanding of what a Sunday morning outside under the tent is going to look like. As you can see, we have another entrance point now, and we will be entering and exiting the same way every week. So right in front of me is Ventura Boulevard, which means that our small parking lot is off to my right, your left over here. Please feel free to use that, especially if you have mobility issues or if walking a long distance will be trouble, or you can absolutely drop someone off in the front here and then go back and use more parking in the back or on the side street as we normally do. But this gate on this side of the building near our nursery here is going to be our primary entrance point. It'll look a lot like it did when we were going into our building. We'll have our signs up with the health screening questions, with the symptoms to watch out for. We'll have tables set up with hand sanitizers, with masks if you happen to forget yours, with all the bulletins and everything that you need. So once again, the entrance should look fairly the same. Our very friendly ushers will be here greeting you, and they'll be ready to take you from here right into the seats that we have assigned for you. So once you're greeted by our ushers and brought in, you'll be sat with your family group. And as you sign up, remember, you'll tell us how many are in your family group, and we'll make sure that there's the proper spacing between individual family units. As you come in, you're going to notice a few things that are preset on the seat for you. If it's the first Sunday of the month, you'll see that the communion elements that are prepackaged like they have been for this whole COVID experience will be there on the seat for you. Every week, you'll also have your bulletin, which will have the handouts, the sermon notes, any announcements that need to be made. And also you'll find a song sheet. We have room for one monitor out here off to my right and your left, but really it's hard to see from a lot of different angles. We don't have the big projection screen like we do in the sanctuary, but everybody will have individual song sheets with all of the lyrics for that particular week on them. Now, as I'm kind of going around the tent here, off to, once again, kind of my right at the back of the tent is where our sound crew is set up, and they've got great angles on everything that they need to and providing a good experience for those that are worshiping with us at home. Our bathrooms out here in the courtyard are still open, and we have those partitioned off so there's at least some measure of privacy as you go that way. Now, if you have a small child and they need some extra attention, or if they need to get the wiggles out during the time of the service, we would ask that you head down that main breezeway between the fellowship hall and the ed building on through to the inner courtyard, where you're welcome to hang out and do whatever you need to do. Or in the back room of the parsonage here, we'll have that open for nursing mothers, or if you need to change a diaper. That'll be a nice place of privacy where you can still hear the sermon. Going around once again, if you can see behind me, the podium is set up there. That is our stage that's been built up, and that is front and center where our worship team will be and where we'll open God's word together. And then seating for most people is underneath, right here, underneath the big part of the tent. Now, during the service, every part has shade. It might not look like it right now, but we've got Easy Up set up to where everybody will be in shade. But that being said, we are still outside, which means some mornings it might be quite cool. Some mornings it might be very, very warm. We want to remind you that it is perfectly acceptable and even encouraged to dress for the weather. If that means shorts for you and your kids, that's fine. If that means you need to bring suntan lotion and spray bottles, we're okay with that too. We've tried to keep everybody out of the direct sun. We'll try to do whatever we can to block wind and make it a great experience for you and your family. But please know that we are absolutely okay with you doing whatever you need to make sure that your family is comfortable and able to worship with us in person. Now, once again, we are very much excited about having families back together. And while right now we know that we can't have kids programming in the way that we normally do, we can't have our children's Sunday school in place, our staff has put together some packets for the kids specifically up through grade 5. And I just want to go through a couple of the things in here so you know what to expect, so that maybe they can get excited about it, and so you know how to supplement if you need to. Every kid will get a clipboard so that they have something to write on during this time. They're going to have a packet with not just this week's notes, but the whole section's worth of notes. So you as a family can not only open it up and start to go through it on the Sunday while you're here, but maybe throughout the week, this is a good time to continue on with the discipleship process, to take your kids through this lesson or any other ones, to ask questions, to pray with each other, to talk about what God's word says, and hopefully open up some of those good family discussion times. Pencil bags, which are a must for all of those loose crayons and markers that you'll have. Of course, the crayons that you'll need to fill those out. And every kid is going to get a Chapel City Kids water bottle. Now, once again, we encourage you to bring water in anything that you need, spray bottles, reusable containers. We will also have water bottles here and available for you and your family on every Sunday. So as we come toward the end of our service, we are moving back to 2 services, which means we'll have people exiting one service and coming in for another. That means that as you come in through that one gate, we're going to ask you all to leave through the same gate. And this is the gate that goes out toward our back parking lot. As you came in from the Ventura Boulevard entrance, you're going to exit through this back gate onto our parking lot. Now, we're going to have that set up in a very specific way on Sundays. We're going to have partitions out there that divide our parking lot from the rest. So it will be a safe area where there's no cars pulling in or out, where there's no chance for the stray child to wander into traffic or to do something dangerous. We really want to make sure that we care for people in that way. But also, what that will allow us to do is to open up a space where anybody who wants to stick around and talk for a little while can fellowship. It can be in a space where they can greet and interact with other believers that you might not have seen in a long time. And we know that that fellowship is such an important part of what we do on a Sunday. Out in that area in the parking lot, we'll have umbrellas or shade set up for you. We'll have additional water out there. Once again, we'll try to make that as good as an environment as we can to facilitate those really important connections that get made. And also, if you would help us by moving out that way, that will allow our transition team to come in, to disinfect chairs, to spray down, to reset, to do all those things that we need to do right now to make sure that we're being very careful about how we handle the health and safety of our members who are coming in for the next service. Now, as we talk about entrance and exits, of course, we're talking about general terms. Just like we encourage those of you with any mobility issues or disabilities to park in that front parking lot so that your entrance is easier, we will absolutely let you leave through that same gate so that you won't have to do the walk. However, we ask that anyone who's able to please come out this back exit. We are really looking forward to having you here in person. If you have any comments or any questions, please reach out and let us know. info@chapelcity.church for something general. If there's a way that we can be praying for you, or if there's a specific need that you have right now, care@chapelcity.church to meet some of those more practical needs perhaps. Know that we're praying for you, know that we love you, and we're excited to see you again.